Welcome back to our next leg on the race around the world here at the Pit Stop Palace, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver.
No, my name's Kevin Oliver.
And he's still lying. Nothing's changed, people.
I'm a good trader.
This is not that show,
Oh, well, I actually did know that. I'm just messing with you guys. My name is Bruce Heller, as always.
except for when he claims otherwise. And before we get started here today, last week we did a bracket where Bruce came up with 32 names of people that I like, real celebrities and such, and he pitted them against each other until we found out who the ultimate person I would want to see on The Amazing Race was. Candace Cameron Bure beat out Guy Fieri in the final round over there. If you haven't seen that episode, go check that out.
And
We're gonna do what?
shout out to GPT that stepped its game up because when Kevin did his bracket for our rewatches, there were a few matchups that were just easy slam dunks for him to decide on. And GPT went overboard, making sure that didn't happen as often this time.
Absolutely, I was hammered this time.
And Kevin accused me of setting up some of those matchups myself, and I sent him the screenshot from GPT afterward to prove that I didn't do that.
It's true, he did not. But this week is the reverse. I made the bracket for Bruce. But before we get started with that, I just want to mention a couple things. First, here at Pit Stop Pals, we care about both our fans and the people that we talk about on this show. And so we want to send our thoughts and prayers with the family of Todd and Ashley Martin, season 34's fourth place finishers. Their son was in an accident the other day and had a brain bleed, ended up in the ICU, but he looks to be on the mend there. He's still got a long road to recovery, but chances of survival are pretty favorable at the moment. So that's a praise, but we just want to shout them out. They were great on our TV. They've been great to correspond with through our Instagram channels, and and we just really want to uh, make it known their situation and that they are in our thoughts and prayers right now.
100%. Well said.
Thank you. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was, do you know what the floor is, Bruce?
I'm standing on my chair now because the floor is lava. Is that
No,
it?
no, 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 no. Get your head back in the frame, please. You can sit back correctly. Do
I
you know
thought the
what
floor was going to be lava, so I was prepared.
do you know what the floor of the show is?
Wow, I took that completely wrong. I've seen commercials for it.
Okay, so but you're familiar with the concept. It's a major trivia game where
Yeah.
there's like 100 people. Each of them have their own expertise category, whatever. Um, season 3 aired last night after the Super Bowl on Fox. I have not watched that episode yet, and she didn't get to be uh, a contestant in this episode, but she is on the floor. Uh, Actually, I lied. Todd and Ashley were fifth place, not fourth, by the way. Fourth place finisher in Amazing Race 35. Anna Lee Wilson is the contestant on season 3 of The Floor.
And the floor is not lava.
It's not lava.
Okay. Do I get props for being prepared though? Because
I appreciate I appreciate the preparedness.
I jumped into action thinking the floor was going to be lava.
I didn't know if you'd heard that, and I wanted to mention that and shout out Anna Lee, one of my favorite characters from that season.
I will have to find that. I will have to check that out. Honestly, I turned Tubi off of my TV as soon as the game itself ended. Like I didn't even wait for the trophy presentation because I was just kind of over it at that point. So
Well, when you're a KC fan, I think they were all over it
they
yesterday.
made it look closer at the end than it actually was. We only lost by 18.
But it was like a 40-point game.
That's why I say they made it look closer at the end than it actually was.
Yeah, definitely. And condolences to you Chiefs fans.
Honestly, if we're gonna lose, I'm glad we lost to the Eagles. They're a fun team. AJ Brown is a really strong Christian, I've read. I've liked Jalen Hurts since his freshman year of college. And Jason Kelsey is associated with the Eagles, and that dude's awesome. So
I am not an Eagles fan, so I was not thrilled to see them win, but they played the better game all
they're
around.
not my favorite NFC team. That's probably the Vikings, as much as you probably don't like hearing that because they're a divisional rival for you. But
That's gross.
I don't know why. I think it's because when I was younger, they had Brett Favre for a couple of years, and I always liked watching Brett Favre play. But
That's fair.
also, their colors are awesome.
I like purple, yeah.
Like the purple and gold are fire. The skull chant is awesome. But no, like since New Heights came out, the Kelsey Brothers podcast, listening to Jason, I love him. So him being associated with the Eagles has made me like them a little bit more than I used to.
That's fair.
And then just Jalen Hurts, I've liked him since Alabama. And
Mhm.
like I said, AJ Brown's a really strong Christian, so I wanted to see him do well.
And I'll give it to him. I got a lot of love for Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator over there in Philly.
Oh
He
yeah,
used, he used to be the Chicago coordinator prior to becoming the head coach in Denver.
I wish
Uh,
Denver had kept him as head coach.
they didn't do great under him.
That's
I
why I wish they kept him. Him and Nathaniel Hackett should be co-head coaches in Denver forever, lifetime contracts.
Nathaniel Hackett is,
Because lifetime contracts are a great idea. It worked so well when Kentucky gave one to Calipari.
yeah, and we see where he is now with my Hogs.
You guys have at least one conference win. You went into Rupp and won somehow.
What?
I said you guys have at least one conference win now. They went into Rupp Arena and beat Kentucky because Kentucky was injured. But
Take that.
I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting you guys to win that game. But,
Here we are.
no.
That
Yeah.
all of that to say, we got a good bracket or a good tournament here for you today, Bruce. Are you
Yeah.
ready to go? Okay, so I also did like you did. I have a men's side and a women's side. I also utilized the AI intern
Nice.
to create bracket matchups. So, yeah, all of this is completely random. It's all people that you are familiar with. Nobody crossed over from last episode. So, this is a completely new 32 people.
Nice.
Are we ready?
We are.
All right. Coming in the first matchup, we're starting on the men's side here. And I got Brooklyn Nine-Nine's own Terry Crews
Hmm.
versus Shark. Oh, by the way, I did predict the whole tournament prior to
Oh, nice.
you doing it. So we'll see how accurate I am this time. And Shark Tank's own Mark Cuban.
Ooh, I love Terry Crews, but I'm going to go with Mark Cuban.
Do you want to put a little explanation in there?
I like him.
That's all you got? That's not very
No,
compelling.
he's a fun personality. When he was the owner of the Mavericks, he was more public and like you see his personality more than most owners.
Yep.
And he's kind of different than the other sharks on Shark Tank. I feel like I don't know. I like him. I vibe with him.
He's Bruce's favorite shark on Shark Tank, too. So
That's because he's the only one I had heard of before that show, to be honest.
that's fair. That's fair.
Because he used to be the owner of the Mavericks.
He was the owner of the Mavericks for quite a while, yeah.
I guess he's still technically a minority owner, but he's not like in charge anymore.
Yeah, and
Look what they're doing.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
which, by the way, last week I made fun of the Mavericks for making what I thought was a really dumb trade. The biggest piece they got back in that trade is now out multiple weeks. So I feel vindicated.
Well, you even if he wasn't out, you should feel vindicated.
Everyone knew he was going to be out, though. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy for more than 3 seconds.
That's fair. Also, the fact that you give away a 25-year-old top five player in the NBA for
So
anything
it's so
doesn't make sense. But this is not an NBA podcast, so
not
back.
until we get Bronny James on the show with us.
Oh yeah,
Just kidding. That will most likely not happen.
the next matchup I got for you here: the man, the myth, the legend, Kurt Warner
Oh,
versus Charles Hayden Savage himself, Steve Martin.
okay, that's evil because I'm gonna pick Kurt Warner. Played in St. Louis, is a really strong Christian. Love his story. They made a movie about him that's fantastic.
Great movie, great movie.
Zachary Levi's in it. Zachary Levi, I think, also a Christian, maybe.
I think you're right. He went on the George Jenko podcast, talked about his
Okay,
Christianity.
I've seen like reels of that, so I couldn't. I thought maybe I was imagining, but I'm choosing Kurt. But Kurt's one of the few people I would pick over Steve Martin. So
Yep, lots of love to Steve Martin. Uh, everything he's in, Cheaper by the Dozen, Cheaper by the Dozen, too.
Father of the Bride,
Most
Father of the
recent,
Bride too.
most recently, Omit B.
Yeah.
He's great all the way around. He's got that great
No,
commercial.
no. Most recently is the Capital One commercial.
That's not like a show or a movie, though.
He's in it. You said
Yeah,
that he's in.
I
You
was about to
specify
reference
shows
the
and movies.
commercial again, even though we talked about it last week.
I'm right. That was more recent than Only Murders.
Yes, Mark. Yes, you're right. Martin Short was also in that.
Let's
So
go, Barnacle.
yes. Did you know that whales and barnacles have a parasitic relationship?
It's so good.
My next matchup for you here: Josh Radner,
Ooh.
the Ted Mosby from Bruce's favorite sitcom, How I Met Your Mother, versus Jughead Jones, Cole Sprouse.
That's hard because I like Cole Sprouse from both Sweet Life shows and Riverdale, but I think of like when I think of the Sprouse twins, Sweet Life is what comes to my mind first. But what was the other name you said? I forgot it. Someone I like.
Ted Mosby, Josh
That's
Radner.
right. Sorry, I drew a blank. Oh gosh. So if Cole's running it, I imagine he's running it with Dylan, which would be really fun. And
Yeah,
Josh
you didn't you
Radner,
didn't you didn't tell us about the previous ones.
yeah, I
Who they're
forgot.
running. So we'll go
Um,
back and do that in a second.
yeah, I'm imagining Josh Radner running it with Jason Segel.
Okay.
Which
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna go with him, but this is really close. Now for the other ones, Mark Cuban, I'm gonna put him with Dirk Nowitzki,
Okay.
and then Steve
Terry
Martin, of
Crews.
course, goes with Martin Short.
Terry Crews.
Ooh, that's hard. Um,
You could have him run with Simon Cowell.
I'm gonna say Sofia Vergara
Interesting.
because it's still America's Got Talent, but it's also Modern Family that she was on. That was another show I like.
Yeah. What about Kurt Warner? Who's he running with?
Probably his wife.
Probably his wife. I would agree.
Mark Cuban and Dirk Nowitzki definitely feels like the most unlikely of these pairings, but it's also fun to
That's a
think about.
wild pull. That's a wild pull.
That, that has to be his favorite player from when he was owner of the Mavericks, I would guess.
I think that's everybody's favorite player from any time that they think about the Mavericks.
Steve Nash was there for a little bit.
Steve Nash is not remembered as a Mav.
No, but he did play there for a little
If
bit.
you're thinking about a Mav point guard, it's Jason Kidd.
Yeah, Jason Terry was there. That team that won the finals against the Heat was a fun little team.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one, another Omit B actor. He's played two different roles. Paul Rudd. We have Ant-Man, but he also is both Ben Glenroy and Glenn Stubbins versus House of Villains Bobby Lights.
Oh, this is Paul Rudd easily. Nothing against Bobby. He's great TV. Paul Rudd, I love Ant-Man. Love him on Only Murders. Also, the first thing I saw him on was Friends. You didn't mention that one.
I've never seen him on Friends.
He's in the later seasons. He plays a guy named Mike that Phoebe ends up marrying.
Oh,
So,
my
but
my friend's knowledge is rather sporadic.
that's fair. But also, Paul Rudd is a big Chiefs fan, so that's cool.
So who's he going to run this race with?
Hmm. I'm gonna say Scarlett Johansson, and here's why. Because I saw a reel yesterday of like the Avengers cast on stage at some convention,
Mm-hmm.
and they were playing this game, but it wasn't all of them. And they said the first person on this stage to call another Avenger and get them to answer the phone wins. And Paul Rudd and Scarlett Johansson were both on the stage, and they called each other because the guy didn't specify it had to be someone not on stage.
That's incredible.
But Chris Hemsworth won because he called and got Robert Downey Jr. to answer. But I'm pairing these two together solely because of that reel I saw.
That's incredible. Okay,
That
so
makes
who's
me
Bobby?
laugh every time I see it.
Who's Bobby Lights going to run with?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know his show that well. I'm think like his original show.
Right. I don't know it at all.
Yeah, same.
Never seen Love and Hip Hop.
Shocker. You seem like such a hip hop guy.
Oh yeah, it's really my vibe. You know, he could run it with Safari, another Love and Hip Hop guy.
Yeah, I'll say that. Even though, yeah, Safari seems a lot. They don't seem like the same vibe. Safari seems chill, and
But
Bobby is just like 1,000 miles an hour all the time.
but they are at least somewhat friends because
Yeah.
don't you remember Bobby Lights ratted out West to Safari on the phone?
Yeah, why were you allowed to call someone who's not in the game to verify game information? What was that? Like producers, what are we doing?
Yeah, I agree. By the way, I am 4 for 4 so far.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, the next one. I don't think this is going to be close at all. But like I said, AI intern did these matchups, so we'll just go with it. The Ginger Boy himself, Ed Sheeran,
Yeah.
versus you did the other one of these, so I had to do this somewhere. Jeff Swampy Marsh.
Oh, I love both of these. I don't see near as much of Swampy as I see his co-creator Dan Povenmire. But because I'm going to pair him and Dan together and I want to see Dan on the show, I'm going to choose him. But I do love Ed Sheeran.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You just moved Swampy on?
I moved Swampy on because I'm pairing him with Dan Povenmire.
You just ruined like my whole left side of the bracket, just so you know. I was really putting a lot of stock in Ed Sheeran being like your favorite
I love
male
Ed
singer.
Sheeran's music. I don't know a ton about like him or his personality. You don't see him online or out in public a ton. I don't know how entertaining he'd be. I don't know who I'd pair him with.
He's like your favorite singer, though, male singer.
I like his music. I just don't know if he'd make good TV or not.
And you don't know if Jeff Swampy Marsh would either.
I've seen him and Dan Povenmire together enough to know the two of them would be great together.
Wow. That really threw me for a loop. All right. This is a person you've already been mentioning a few times to start the episode here. We have Jason Kelsey
Oh, that's awesome.
versus Ryder Strong.
I'm gonna move Jason on, but I'm sad to be sending Ryder home because he's great also. He's a bit curmudgeon-y on the Pod Meets World podcast, but he's hilarious. I love hearing his thoughts on the episodes.
What do you mean he's a bit curmudgeon-y?
I feel like that's self-explanatory.
But for those of
Oh,
us who don't listen to the podcast,
oh, he just kind of tends to not like episodes more often, I guess. Takes them more seriously. I don't know.
gotcha.
I still love him though. I love hearing what he has to say.
Right.
The three of them just have such a good chemistry together. I want to go to one of their live shows sometime next time they tour.
Take me with you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You don't even listen to the show.
But Boy Meets World's one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Fair enough. Same. It's fantastic.
Yeah. One day I'm going to find the time to go back and listen to all of them. It's just not been that day yet.
Yeah.
All right. The next matchup we have Neil Patrick Harris versus Dondi Season 1's Aaron Barbell.
I like Aaron. I've seen one season of him on my screen. Neil Patrick Harris did 9 seasons of How I Met Your Mother and some other things. He did the Smurfs movie. So,
Yes, that's a great movie.
and there was a second one too, wasn't there?
I think so, yeah.
They're making a new
They're,
Smurf movie and it doesn't look near as good.
that's because they don't have NPH.
I think Rihanna voices Smurfette in the new one from the trailer I saw.
Huh. So you're going NPH here?
Yes.
That's what I figured. In the final men's side first round matchup.
Hold on. Neil Patrick Harris will be running with Papa Smurf. Carry on. I haven't done that for a few episodes. I didn't know who to pair him with because I paired Josh Radnor with Jason Segel. So I paired him with his co-star from the Smurfs movie.
Okay, if you say so.
That the shorter legs might prove problematic when running to the pit stop, but we'll see.
Neil can just pick him up.
Fair enough. Just throw him.
Yeah.
Pit stop.
All right, my last men's side pairing here we have. Oh, who's Aaron Barbell going to run with?
No one. He lost.
But he was running prior to. You know what? We had both people do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Rob
Okay. What
or
about Jason
Alyssa. One of those
Kelsey?
two.
What about Jason Kelsey?
His brother.
What about Ryder Strong?
Either Will Friedle or Danielle Fishel. Take your pick.
Okay. The last matchup here on the men's side, we have from Designated Survivor, Kiefer Sutherland, or from many things, most recently, Fox's Animal Control, or season 1 and 2 host of House of Villains, Joel McHale.
Ooh, interesting. Say the first name again.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Shout out to him. Does I never saw the Netflix season, but the first 2 seasons of Designated Survivor were fantastic.
Yeah,
Kiefer
they were great.
Sutherland's dad plays like the main villain in the Hunger Games trilogy, which is one of my favorite series.
And he has a brother named like Rosif or something like that,
Huh.
and he is the lead on a new Fox TV show called Murder in a Small Town.
Huh. I'm gonna go with Joel McHale. He's just really funny. I think he'd be good content. As for his running mate, I'm gonna say Ken Jeong.
I love that. I love that. What about Kiefer Sutherland? Who's he running with?
I would say his dad, but he's dead, so I have to think about this. Hmm. I'm not sure. That's like the Designated Survivor is the only thing I've seen him in.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's fair.
I'm gonna say his dad if he were alive, since none of this is real anyway.
That's fair.
President Snow on The Amazing Race.
And
Like the
with that,
character, not just Donald Sutherland, but the character President Snow. Put him on Amazing Race.
I went 7 out of 8 in
Nice.
the in the first round there. But
And
you
I broke
really,
your mind with the one.
yeah,
And
and
I'm
not
so
just my
proud of
mind,
myself.
but my bracket.
Yes. Chaos.
Okay. Now you're ready to move to the girls' side.
Yes.
The first matchup here is going to be a heavy hitter, just so you know. We have Selena Gomez versus Peyton List.
Selena.
I knew it was going to be Selena, but I thought you'd have to think a little bit harder.
Peyton List is fun. Jesse, Cobra Kai. But like, I grew up with Selena. With She did a
You
couple
grew up with
of
Peyton.
movies. She did Wizards, and she's still doing it with Only Murders. Like I've been
You
a
grew up with
fan.
Peyton too on Jesse and
Jesse
Bump.
was a little. Like, I was a little like as Jesse was as I was aging out of Disney Channel. I was in like
I'm older than you, and I watched every episode of Jesse.
I think I've seen every episode, but it was like I don't know. It was a different era.
If you say so, I still consider Jesse in like that top tier time.
Yeah, my like golden age is like when Wizards and Sweet Life and Hannah Montana were all on. I feel like
Absolutely.
Jesse was the next era after that.
I feel like she was kind of in between, but
That's fair.
um, that's what I expected though. My next one is Chelsea Peretti versus Kobe Smulders.
Ooh, that's interesting. Kobe Smulders, I would have running with Allison Hannigan, which would be really fun.
Yeah, that
Or
would be
with
good.
Samuel L. Jackson if I wanted to do an MCU thing, which would also be great content.
Hey, you mean Uncle Sam?
I didn't realize until later last night that's the character he was playing. Every time he'd come up, I'm like, why is he here? What is this? And then I'm laying in bed. I'm like, oh, he was playing Uncle Sam. His name is Sam. I get it. At like 11 o'clock at night.
I got no words.
You can't be surprised by that.
I somehow I can be.
I've taken a lot longer to realize much more obvious things before.
That's valid. Who's Chelsea Peretti gonna run?
Hmm. Because I've only seen her in 9-9, I'll either say Melissa Fumero or Stephanie Beatriz, either one.
See, I would think almost Andy Samberg over both.
That one makes sense. They actually did grow up together. That's my new answer.
And who wins?
What do you mean who wins?
Kobe or
Oh,
Chelsea?
I
You never
forgot
pick.
about that part.
You never pick.
Actually, Kobe Smulders.
Okay. Also, you never said who's Selena gonna run with.
Huh. David Henry.
And what about Peyton List?
Um, Debbie Ryan or Tanner Buchanan. No, she's dating one. I at one point was dating Jacob Bertrand, who's also on Cobra Kai. So I'm gonna say him,
Okay. Okay.
unless they're broken up now, because that would be awkward. But I don't know.
I don't think this is gonna be a hard choice for you. We have Queen Vicky, Victoria Larson
Yeah.
versus Sophie Cunningham.
Oh yeah, it's Sophie from representing Mizzou, new Fever player, former Mercury player. Vicky was great, fun TV. Not great at the House of Villains game,
Bruce has a crush
but
on Vicky.
kind of. Yeah, she's pretty.
That's why she made the list.
Fair enough.
Bruce, isn't Sophie your favorite player?
For women's basketball, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So does that mean you're now a Fever fan and not a Mercury fan?
Exactly. I told you that when the trade happened.
You said you no, you said you were gonna have to get a Fever jersey.
I said I'm a Fever fan now, and you said welcome to the Fever gang.
I did say that.
Lawyer.
But I didn't know that you were giving up on the Mercury completely.
I mean, I don't know anyone that plays there anymore. They're getting rid of everyone. They're blowing it all up.
Brittany Griner?
No, she went somewhere else, I think.
Really? I missed that.
And Tarasi hasn't decided if she's retiring or not yet, I don't
Oh.
think.
Hey, well that makes it a lot easier for us to go see a game because we don't have to make sure they're playing the Mercury anymore.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to take you to go do a Fever Mercury game. But
Now
now we
we
can
can't
do
go to Phoenix anymore, though.
what?
Now we can't go all the way to Phoenix anymore.
Oh darn.
That would have been
But
a fun walk. That would have been a nice little hike.
yeah, we really would have. But that makes going to a Fever game a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the next matchup here, I think it'll be another easy one for you. We have Madeline Pesh
Okay.
versus Bridget Moynihan, who play that would be Aaron Regan on Blue Bloods.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And I know you like Blue Bloods, so
Excuse me. I'm gonna take Madeline and pair her with Camila Mendez, but this is a good matchup. Bridget, I would probably have running with Donnie Wahlberg, I guess.
could done Peter Herman.
Which one is he?
That would be her ex-husband
Oh,
slash current husband.
yeah, he's fun. I like his character.
Jack Boyle.
Or the guy that plays Anthony. I forget his name.
Oh, yeah, that would be quite interesting.
Yes.
Uh, I've been working on this scripted Survivor casting, and I did Blue Bloods, and I was talking to my mom about it, and I was having her guess who my five guys were from the Blue Bloods cast that made it on my cast, and like her first guess was like Anthony.
Huh, nice.
He did not make the list.
He's a fantastic character.
Great character, I agree. Okay, next we have Kylie Jenner,
Hmm.
which is one of the ones that you like.
She's pretty.
You told me that. That's why I picked her.
Yeah.
Versus Hillary Duff.
That is not one I was expecting to be on here. That is interesting.
You, I was going towards the How I Met Your Father, How I Met Your Mother
Yeah.
mix there.
I'll probably choose Hillary Duff. She seems really interesting and just like a fun personality. And I'll pair her with Josh Peck because other than How I Met Your Father, I feel like I've seen a reel of them on a podcast together or somewhere.
I got that one wrong. That was the first girls one I missed.
Interesting.
Who's Kylie gonna run with?
Kendall, I guess.
The other one that you like?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, this one we got Natalie Portman versus Vanessa Hudgens.
You hate me.
Nope, that was all AI intern.
I know AI intern doesn't hate me because of what I watched it do to you last week, and that was greatly entertaining. But wow. I'm gonna go with Vanessa Hudgens kind of easily, but I hate eliminating Natalie Portman. I mean, she was in the Thor movies. She was my favorite role of hers, Padme Amidala in the Star Wars prequel trilogy.
I didn't
She's
think it'd be
done
that
so
hard
much.
for you, but I knew you wouldn't like it.
It wasn't hard, but I still hate it. But
Yeah.
like, if you tuned into last week's episode, Kevin talked a lot about how like Candace Cameron was his first celebrity crush, and everything he said for Candace Cameron is what Vanessa Hudgens is for me. So
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I can't go against her here, but man, eliminating Natalie Portman in the first round also sucks.
Yeah. I hear you.
Oh
The
well.
next one, we have Brenda Song versus Danielle Fishel.
Oh, that's hard. So Danielle Fishel, I'll have running with Ben Savage, I guess. And then Ryder was on here earlier. I'll put him with Will Friedle. But what was the other name? Brenda
Brenda
Song.
Song.
Danielle wins, but just for the sake of saying it, Brenda Song would be running with Macaulay Culkin.
I love them together.
I didn't know they were a thing until like a year ago. I'm like, wait, this is such a weird pairing.
Yeah, for
Now they have
sure.
a kid.
Also, I need to know who's Vanessa running with.
I This might get awkward because they used to date and now they're not. So that means they broke up. But it's gonna be Zac Efron anyway.
And what about Natalie Portman?
Hayden Christensen.
Okay. All right. The final first round matchup on the girls' side. I think you might not like this matchup.
Oh no.
We have the challenges Olivia Kaiser
Okay.
versus Big Brother's Alyssa Snyder.
Okay, so two people that I like on the shows I've seen them on, and I also think are pretty.
And you send me Instagram posts and stories from both of them all the time.
Not as much as I used to.
Olivia still a lot. Alyssa not as much.
I feel like I've done that like once in the past 3 weeks.
I literally got okay, fine. I got a picture from Katie Kaiser and Olivia Kaiser back to back.
Yeah, that's the only time I've done that in like a month.
I don't care. I was just giving you
Yeah, I
credit.
know. I've seen Olivia more, so I'm gonna go with her.
I thought you'd go Olivia. I tried to stay away from reality TV for the most part, but
Clearly
those,
did a great job of that.
those were the two that I wanted to stake my claim into.
Fair enough.
And on that side, I also went 7 out of 8.
There you go.
But the one I missed does not have near as much weight as the one I missed on the guy's side.
Yeah.
And so here we are back to the guy. Oh, I'll say going into the Sweet 16 here in no particular order, we have Paul Rudd, Selena Gomez, Mark Cuban, Vanessa Hudgens, Jason Kelsey, Danielle Fishel, Neil Patrick Harris, Kobe Smulders, Josh Radner, Kurt Warner, Hillary Duff, Madeline Pesh, Jeff Swampy Marsh, Joel McHale, Olivia Kaiser, I already said Kurt Warner, Danielle Fishel, and Sophie Cunningham.
Nice.
So, with that being said, back to the guys' side, we have Mark Cuban matching up against Kurt Warner here.
That is fantastic. Sorry, Mark, but Kurt's winning this one pretty easily. I just love him too much to have him go out here.
You know, I own 2 books written by Kurt Warner.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I expected Warner to be your man here.
Yeah.
The one after that, we have Josh Radner versus Paul Rudd.
Ooh. I like Josh Radner's character. Like, I like his show more than anything I've seen Paul Rudd in. But this is them, not their characters.
Correct.
I'm gonna go with Paul Rudd because I don't know a ton about Josh Radner other than the character he plays.
All right. Paul Rudd it is. The next matchup, we have Jeff Swampy Marsh
Yeah.
versus Jason Kelsey.
Ooh, that is very interesting. So I'm gonna go with Jason, and unfortunately for Swampy and Dan, it's not necessarily close, but I love both of them. I just think the New Heights duo, the brothers being on the show together would be fantastic.
That would be really fun. Yeah, I agree. And then the final Sweet 16 matchup from the left side of the bracket here, we have NPH Neil Patrick Harris versus Joel McHale.
Nice. Um, I'm gonna go with Neil Patrick Harris here, but him and Papa Smurf are moving on together, of course. But hmm, yeah, Joel McHale's fun. Him and Ken Jeong made a good run, but it ends here.
Definitely. I went 3 out of 4 there, with my only miss being I had you taking Ed Sheeran over Jason Kelsey, and Ed Sheeran wasn't even in this round. So let's move to the women's side. We have Selena Gomez versus Kobe Smulders.
Again, sorry to Kobe, but it's Selena and it's not necessarily close. One of my favorite Disney Channel people ever.
Yep, I expected that.
Excuse me.
Sophie Cunningham versus Madeline Pesh.
Again, no offense to Madeline. This isn't close. I've seen Sophie play in person a few times, watched her WNBA career, and Mizzou represents here. Hi.
Your Mizzou game is that's boys basketball you're going to go to, right?
It's both. The women's one is next week, and then the men's one is at the end of March, I think.
And both of them are going to be Mizzou versus Kentucky.
Yes, that's why my mom has any interest in going.
Okay, that's valid. And your dad's going to go to both?
No, I don't think he's going to the men's one.
Gotcha.
Honey, there's not room here.
Let Mercy live her life.
Yeah, my new for the audience, I got a new dog a couple days ago that is currently under the desk, halfway in my lap, and I think wanted to climb up into the chair with me. So she may or may not be making her way onto camera at some point.
Let her. Let her.
Come here. Oh gosh. Here we go, everyone. I'll pick you up for a second. Show you to the camera. See?
It's Mercy.
No, look that way. See? Okay. Good
Hi,
talk.
Mercy.
There we go. That was fun. She's very soft.
All right, your next matchup is Hillary Duff versus Vanessa Hudgens.
Man, none of these women's ones are close this time.
Not this round.
I see a collision course heading for the final two of the women's side that I'm not looking forward to choosing between. But I'll get there when I get there.
I
Vanessa
also
wins
see this
this one in a blowout.
Vanessa took Hillary. I agree. I think that was where you were going. I thought that for a while.
Yes.
And in the final matchup here, we have Danielle Fishel versus Olivia Kaiser.
Danielle Fishel for sure.
And with that one, I went 3 and 4 as well.
Which one did you miss?
I had Olivia.
Oh, that's fair. But you got another one wrong.
And so here we are, Elite Eight. Kurt Warner, Danielle Fishel, Selena Gomez, Neil Patrick Harris, Paul Rudd, Vanessa Hudgens, Sophie Cunningham, and Jason Kelsey. Let's play some Elite Eight matchups. Starting off here with a strong one that I don't think is going to be close. Kurt Warner versus Paul Rudd.
I'm sorry to Paul Rudd, but Kurt Warner brought a championship to St. Louis, which is the city I love, unlike any other. He's a really strong Christian, seems like a great guy. Kurt moves on here, unfortunately. You've got the Chiefs fan versus the St. Louis Rams player. So, a football team
Jace,
that I liked at one point in my life was going to advance here. Either way,
right. Jason Kelsey versus Neil Patrick Harris.
Jason.
Really?
And I mean, I like Jason's just such a likable guy anyway. But also look at the partners. We have Travis versus Papa Smurf.
Are you hating on Papa Smurf?
No, I'm sh throwing some praise at Travis for being very entertaining.
I mean, fair. So I went 1 for 2 there. I had Kurt Warner in your final four,
Yeah.
but once again, I had Ed Sheeran in the bottom part.
It's funny every time you say it. I don't know why.
First matchup on the girls' side, I'll go Vanessa versus Danielle Fishel first.
Vanessa wins. Nothing against Danielle, but like I said, everything you said about Candace Cameron last week is Vanessa Hudgens for me. Like it's hard for me to ever not pick her in a scenario like this.
Right. And I asked you that one first because I knew I still am confident in the answer to this other one, but I think this one's closer than the other one was. I think honestly, this is probably the closest final or Elite Eight matchup we have.
Yeah,
Selena Gomez versus Sophie Cunningham.
I did not see that that's where that was going. This is the closest women's side bracket yet so far, I think.
Probably the closest anything in this
Uh,
bracket so far.
I've been a fan of Selena longer, but the Missouri representation and the fact that I met Sophie after a game, after her senior day game, but also after another game that she was just there watching after she graduated. I This is deadlocked for me. So here's what I'm gonna do. You chose in your bracket for our rewatches, picked one that was solely based off of not wanting to have to choose between two people in the future.
I hate you. I
I
hate you.
don't want to choose between Vanessa and Selena. So I'm gonna move Sophie on here. That's my tiebreaker because I was deadlocked between them in every other way. So I just don't want to choose between Vanessa and Selena. Is the hair that Sophie wins by.
So I went 1 for 2 there as well.
And then used your own logic to make your bracket wrong. That's what's
It,
funny.
here's the thing. I went as far as I could.
Yeah.
The two that I had correct here are the two I had losing in the final four.
Yeah.
I had your final matchup as Ed Sheeran losing to Selena Gomez.
See, I like Ed Sheeran's music. I don't know a ton about him. I don't like he's not online a ton. He doesn't do a ton of interviews, so I just don't know his personality very well.
I just really held stock, I guess, in how high you rank his music.
His music is fire. I want to see him in concert sometime. But he's not going to be singing on The Amazing Race.
Well,
I
he
want
might
to see
be.
fun personalities and good TV.
Right. I understand. I just expected him to hold more weight for you than it did.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so our final fours here. I'm gonna go with the guys' side first. Kurt Warner or Jason Kelsey.
Oh gosh, this is not fun. I like them both a lot. I'm gonna go with Kurt, but this is the closest matchup he's had yet.
That's valid.
So that's where I'm at with that.
And now you know where we are.
Yeah.
Sophie Cunningham and Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh man. Oh, Vanessa. This is the closest one she's had though.
I would agree with that. Honestly, Vanessa. But it was yeah. Vanessa's corner of the bracket was probably the easiest to make it through.
Which she was probably the favorite on the women's side anyway. So the fact that AI gave her the easy path is wild.
Well, in my mind, Selena was the favorite.
Oh, that's true. Honestly, when you told peel back the curtain a little bit, Kevin told me there was a few people that he knew I liked that much and they would steamroll, so he didn't put them in here. I kind of thought Vanessa would be in that group because you know how much I like her, but so if she
So,
wasn't in that group, I kind of figured she'd be the women's favorite coming into this.
so I didn't put as much faith in her um, being the favorite, considering when we did a draft just for fun, you and me, of celebrity crushes to do a Brent Steele,
Yeah.
she was not your first pick.
I'm unpredictable.
I guess. In
And
fact, you
that
only picked her after I picked my celebrity first celebrity crush, and said that that's why I picked Candace.
fair enough.
So that leaves us with a championship round of Kurt Warner
Oh
versus
no.
Vanessa Hudgens.
I hate this. They have both steamrolled to this point,
They have, yes.
and I have to choose between them now. And I'm a huge fan of both of them, but the close margin, the fact that Kurt's a strong Christian and the St. Louis connection is going to eke out a barely win for him here.
Wow.
Honestly, when you said his name, I kind of figured this would happen, but I
That
love
is
both of them.
wild. That is wild.
They're both so great. So, yes.
31 matchups. I got 22 of them correct.
Woohoo. Good for you. I am
And
proud of you.
you sound so sarcastic right now.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just talking.
And so here you have it, folks. The person that Bruce wants to see above all on The Amazing Race is the legendary American underdog himself, Kurt Warner of St. Louis Rams and Arizona Cardinals fame.
And briefly, New York Giants.
Yeah, but that didn't really matter.
No, but it still counts for something. I don't
If you
know
say
what,
so.
but something.
This was fun, Bruce. I
It
hope
was a lot of fun.
enjoyed it, even though you had some steamrolling.
I think our intern
Included.
has a favorite co-host based on that it made mine a lot easier than it made yours.
Yeah, no kidding. Like there was a clear favorite in each of the four for yours.
Yeah.
When we did mine, there there was not that in any of mine.
No, there was not.
The closest maybe Candace Cameron Bure, who ended up winning the whole thing. But other than that, there wasn't.
Fair enough. So,
So next week, Bruce will be building a character bracket for me. Is that right?
it is, and I have a lot more possibilities with this one. So,
Yes.
this is I can have some chaotic fun with this one.
I'm looking forward to it.
Colton Crumby's gonna make it in there somehow.
That is not a character.
There's no way that guy's real. Nobody's like that.
Except him.
Unless
He is
he's a character written to be that terrible.
no.
Was acting.
Hey,
You
if
just
you
don't
say
know the
that,
actor's name.
hey, slow down. Are you saying Survivor scripted?
No, I'm just saying Colton's not
No,
real.
no, 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 no. If you want to make that argument, you are saying Survivor scripted.
No, I'm just saying they
No,
won for.
no.
Okay,
Colton
hear me
was
out
on
though.
Survivor.
What about the dumb AI character from Big Brother this past season?
I'm
That
not
was
talking about
real.
Big Brother. I'm not talking about Big Brother.
But no, you can have a fake character in the show not be scripted. Is my point. Why I'm tying
But
Big Brother.
but the fake character in Big Brother was never a competitor. Never had a chance at the million.
Colton never had a chance at the million.
Arguably, everybody has a chance at the million.
But Colton never had a real chance.
But Ainsley didn't have a fake chance either.
Wow. The AI character, and they gave her a name that starts with A. How creative.
AI, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Even less
Yeah.
creative. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
No, Survivor is not scripted, but Colton might not be real.
No, you're telling me that Survivor is scripted if Colton is not a real person.
Well, you hate old people, so your opinion doesn't count.
Meredith
Yeah,
made my
yeah,
final
you're not
four.
the only one that can put words in people's mouths.
Meredith made the final. I don't think this is putting words in somebody's mouth. I think this is the next logical step in what you are saying.
I'm
For Colton to be a character, it has to be scripted.
Nobody's like that though.
Colton is.
Colton's not real.
Okay.
Just
Survivor
like
scripted.
pine trees in Delaware.
You heard it here first, folks. Bruce says Survivor is scripted.
I think the headline is that I just said Delaware is not real.
Nope. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go skeet this.
Okay, by the way though, think about it. When's the last time you ever heard of something happening in Delaware or someone being from Delaware? Are we
Joe Biden.
sure that it's real?
Joe Biden.
Well, that's not a point in Delaware's favor.
No, but you just asked when was the last time I heard of somebody being from Delaware. How
Well,
about the
politicians, well, he might have come from there originally. I doubt he's lived there in decades, though. He's probably lived in Washington forever. Delaware might not be real, is my point.
hang on. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with Elena Deladon?
I forgot about her.
She played at Delaware.
Fair enough. Delaware might be real. It might not. We're not sure.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's not real. Got it.
No, it's real. Elena Deladon says so.
Well, okay. Delaware's real, I guess. But still, nothing happens there very often.
That's valid.
Like, no current events that are ever on the internet or on the news are ever in Delaware.
Elena Deladon is a lesbian?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
that happened years ago.
Yeah, she got married in 2017.
A lot of WNBA players are lesbian.
I knew Brittany Griner was.
Candace.
Caitlin Clark's not.
What?
Caitlin Clark's not.
No, and Sophie's not. Candace Parker, who's retired, is now, but didn't used to be. Diana Taurasi, I think, is.
I think you're right.
There's a lot of them. Brianna Stewart.
Yeah.
It's it's a lot of the league.
Wild.
This was fun though. We're getting off the rails. So
Yes, this was a great time. Tune in next week as we do, as for the next 2 weeks, as we do character brackets leading up to the start of our next season of The Amazing Race. And it's looking to be a big one. The big thing they're saying about Amazing Race 37 is that there's going to be lots of twists. I've heard about a new feature called the Fork in the Road, where It's going to basically turn into two separate races depending on which way you go, and
Huh.
there's going to be a double elimination.
By the way, quick shout out to my dad. I can't hear the term fork in the road without thinking about him because one of his favorite movies is the original Muppet movie. And there's a line in there where Kermit and Fozzie are driving down the road and it says turn at the fork in the road. And as they turn, the camera zooms out and there's a giant metal fork stabbed into the road. And every time I hear that phrase, I think of him and I think of that movie.
That's
So
great. That's great. But yeah, also it's come out that it looks like Amazing Race 38 is going to be all teams of one Big Brother contestant and one of their loved ones. And so we've got some big things in the works here in terms of Amazing Race. So stay tuned as we're going to start our coverage of that within less than a month. Um, Continue to check out all of the stuff going on at the Reality Realm. Um, Tribal Council chat. They just dropped a Jeremy Collins player profile. Great episode. A couple weeks from now, we're going to be drafting for Survivor 48. That will be starting at the end of this month.
that the Jeremy episode was so good, guys, that when Kevin texted me to tell me all the things I said were wrong, there was only one thing this week,
Yeah,
which is usually a couple. So I'm getting better.
if you say so. Anyway, also check out New Generation Challenge podcast, where they just wrapped up season 40 and just jumped right into All Stars season 5 of the challenge. Check out Roundtable Talk, where we uh, break down the latest episode full of murder and deceit.
In
With
fact,
what?
and
And
fashion.
fashion. And fashion. As the season of Traders US season 3 is slowly coming to an end here, just a few more weeks. Continue checking out all of those things on the Reality Realm YouTube channel or the respective um, Spotify or Apple Podcast channels. Check out our merch store at Redbubble. You can find the link to that in our Instagram or Facebook bios on any of our social media pages. Bruce, do you have anything to plug or mention as we get out of here?
Don't get murdered.
Wrong show.
Go.
With that being said, the world is waiting for you. Good luck.
Good luck. Travel safe.
Go.
Go.